so stupid.
Remnant 2. God damn, this game is good. This game is phenomenal. As you can see, anywhere on YouTube, people are blowing this game up. It's making moves. People are talking about how good it is, and it's there for a reason. It's just happening for a reason. What's up? I'm definitely not bots. I'm going to break this down and probably rate it. Spoilers, it's pretty high. Let's talk the basic on Remnant. Remnant was originally Chronos from the Ashes, which then became Remnant from the Ashes, and now we got Remnant 2. So Remnant 2 is the third game in the series. You do not need to play the previous two versions to know what's going on. The game does a very good job of keeping you up to speed at the beginning, and you can just talk around in town and it'll tell you a lot. This man doesn't shut up, but he is important. He is important. Remnant 2 starts off with you making your character. We got a very bare bones type of character creation. Honestly, you're just changing your face. And for the most part, you're going to be wearing a helmet. So you're not going to see your character, besides the back of your head. After a small tutorial section where you have a lot of help, trust me, 4 people shooting 1 target is a lot of help in this game. After that, you get taken to your hub. Think of it as your Fire Lake Shrine. You know, your Hunter's Dream, your Nexus, Round Table Hold. And this game is called War 13. It has everything you're going to really want. It doesn't have all the shops in the game, but you know, upgrade, weapon crafting, a lot of the stuff you're going to need is in here. At this point, the game allows you to pick your class, and here's where things diverge quite a bit. Let me talk about it. You have up to 5 starting classes, depending if you pre-order the game. If not, you got 4, but don't worry, you still have the 5, you just unlock it later. First, we got the Hunter. Think precision damage, think sniper rifles, think crit and headshots. This class ain't too bad. A solid B tier. Again, it ain't bad, but it's just other classes that just do a lot more with what they have. Though, if you want to reach the highest damage values in this game, you will need a Hunter, or just a workaround with a bunch of items. Next, we got the Challenger. This is your heavy duty, heavy armor, shotgun wielding, a big sword having, guts wannabeing. This is the game's equivalent to a Juggernaut. Not a tank, a Juggernaut. The cool thing about him is that he can get up after he gets knocked down, once every 10 minutes and refresh when you touch the World Stone. That's basically a bonfire, by the way. This class is also a B. Before we continue, every class is good at this game. They all have their own function and their own purpose. It's up to you as a player to use them to optimal efficiency. That being said, the next couple of classes we're going to talk about, they're pretty damn good. The Medic. You heal a lot. And I mean you heal a lot. You keep yourself alive. And after you level them up, you can heal your teammates. This game is co-op, by the way. You should try it. And when you max out the class, you can revive your teammates. Even if they're both down and you're like feet away. You don't need to get to them. They just get up. It's just pretty awesome. Really comes in clutch on Apocalypse and Nightmare difficulty. Next, we got the Good Boy class. This class is straight up the dog. The dog is the man. The dog is the G. The dog is your best friend. The dog is the one, the only, the God. We got the dog. Oh my God. Listen, he has saved me so many times that I just have to respect the boy. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is my best friend, my Bano, my Ipana, my old town guy, my rotten soldier. The dog, he's just named Dog. I wish we could name him, but you can't. It's a missed opportunity, but whatever. The dog does 3 things, very important. Takes aggro away from you. So enemies are not going to attack him. Apparently this dog is a tank. I don't know why. I'm the one with the armor, but he's taking too many shots. The dog also applies bleed. Very important. Bleed stops healing or reduces the effectiveness of all healing. And if a boss heals, well, that's half the heal, which is amazing. Plus, bleed does damage over time. And most importantly, the dog revives you. And if you're down and dead, the dog revives your teammates. That's just amazing. So yes, this is a top tier class, and I swear to God, it has carried so many people through this game. Lastly, we got the Gunslinger. Bullets. Bullet storm, bullet shots, crit, more bullets. This is the class designed for just outright damage more than the Ranger. The Ranger is focused on straight up damage from critical shots. The Gunslinger is focused on just unloading all the time. It's a very fun class. If it wasn't for the good boy, I would probably be using this class when I start playing the game. As soon as you pick your class, you can also pick one of 4 mods. Healing shots, greatly underrated. Concussive shot, looks amazing. Let's be honest, this is cool. It feels great too. Scrap shot, listen, it has its usage, but it's not that great. It just gets overshadowed by too many things. And finally, hot shot. This is also one of the best mods in the game. The choices only really come down to 2, healing shot and hot shot. Hot shot because everything can burn in this game. Everything can burn. And healing shot because it does a lot to carry you. Not saying it's bad, but sometimes I realize that healing with my Estes class, which is called Dragon High here, I don't have that kind of time. But I can quickly run, shoot it on my feet, grab it, and be on my way. This is another valid option. You won't need it later in the game because you have so much healing, but this is a valid option. And then after all that setup, yes, there's a lot to explain in this game, you can finally start the game proper. You have your class, you have your mods, you touch the giant rock, and you can start one of 3 worlds. Yeisha, I'll get more into that later. Lonesome, the best world in my opinion. And Naru, second best world in my opinion, also has amazing guns. This is really good. This is actually phenomenal. Because if you know anything about Remnant from the Ashes, Remnant 1, the first game, the bosses and events may have been different, but the worlds and the order you went through them were always the same. So you always went to Earth before you went to the Labyrinth, before you go to Rom. Now you can start anywhere, and this is important. Depending on where you start, it really depends on how you're gonna move through the game. So let's say you pick the Challenger, you have a shotgun. Beautiful. If you start in the room, most of the enemies are far away, so you're gonna be running a lot. The Ranger doesn't have that issue. He can just snipe from away or use his hunting rifle. Let's break down the world system. I'm not gonna break down the worlds, just the world system. Every world has 2 potential storylines, 2 potential main events. Let's take Lonesome for a second. My favorite area, it has a lot in it. Let's talk about it. The final boss of each location could be this witch Banshee Ghost Den. I hate her, it's Nightshade. She's kind of cheap. Or you could be killing the imposter kings, Phelan and Fei Ring. It's a weird naming scheme, don't worry about it, they're both gonna die. They're both gonna die eventually. It's for a good reason. Now already that sounds pretty cool. This world itself has 2 different timelines, or 2 different events, storylines. But the bosses themselves have 2 different kills. Let's take Phelan and Fei Ring. Depending on who you kill, you get different weapons. So it gives you more of an incentive to, well, go for both of them since they both drop different loot. But isn't to say that the Nightweaver doesn't have 2 different rewards as well. Depending on what you do during the fight, you also can get 2 different weapons, which is really good. And that isn't to say that between those 2 different outcomes, you have so much variables of different types of layouts, map layouts, and events that will happen between the starting of your campaign to the end of that world, which is also fantastic. That's just Lonesome. Now you have to do that with Naru and Yeisha. Already, you can see that there's a lot of variables that goes into a playthrough of this game. It's phenomenal, and that's going to keep people coming back and back for more and more. On top of that, there are missable secrets that you can always go back and get. Just play the world again. Some of you may wonder how. It's quite simple. Reroll your campaign. Yes, you can do that. Reroll your campaign. And if you don't want to reroll the whole campaign, which if you want some really rare items, you gotta get lucky with this goddamn campaign. I'm still trying. You can also do adventures. Adventures is just one quick instance of one world. Which is, say if you want to do Yeisha, to get the best bleed weapon in the game, you are allowed to reroll this campaign as much as you want. If you fail to meet the criteria to get this weapon, just try again. And that right there is the pool of the game and why people are so enthralled with it. It's just good quality content. Nothing overstays its welcome. If you're just focused on getting the big bosses to drop the weapons you want, you can beeline straight to them. You don't have to go through the whole area and explore multiple dungeons, multiple events. And that choice matters a lot to the player because this is your adventure. You're doing it how you want to, and nothing's getting in the way. Now, I mentioned co-op earlier, and co-op here is the best in any Souls-like. Yes, no, From Software fails when it comes to the co-ops. I hate it. I got a taste of Remnant, and I know better. I know better. You know that seamless co-op mod? Essentially, Remnant did it before it was a thing, before it was implemented as a mod in Elden Ring. If someone joins your play session, you can play with them from the beginning of the game to the end of it in one setting, and they will never be forced out of your world. This isn't Elden Ring, where as soon as you get the boss kill, you say goodbye to each other. No, we are together until you want to leave or I kick you out. That's how it is in Remnant 1 and 2. There is also other benefits to co-op. One, you get increased drop rates. Everything's worth a little more because you're playing together. Everything's a little more harder. Cool. Two, and most importantly, no two playthroughs are the same, but that's true to the players as well. So if you and your friend are playing, you both will get different campaigns. And to circle back, you already know how Lonesome has 2 different campaigns or 2 different storylines. That goes for every world and every player. So you and a buddy can just bounce back from each other's world, collecting everything once. It's rare to see this much thought go into the co-op experience of a game, given the AAA landscape that we live in today. This game is amazing. Like Dad mentioned that, this game is amazing. And you're gonna want to be playing with people or by yourself, reloading all the time. Why do I say that? Well, the economy of this game is strict to its benefit, to your benefit as well. There are so many rings in this game. There's so many amulets in the game and things to find. As you see in the gameplay, I've been using different builds. I've been using different armor sets. I've been doing different things just for the fun of it. That's how much options you have in this game. I didn't even mention the other unlockable classes you have in this game. Yes, the unlockable archetypes, and that you can dual wield archetypes. Yes, this is mainly the reason why I can never go back to Remnant 1. The best comparison I have is Kingdom Hearts 2 and Kingdom Hearts 1. I want my drive forms. I can't touch Kingdom Hearts 1 after that. Moving on. This game is filled to the rim with secrets. There's a meme going around where like, if everything's a secret and nothing's a secret, as you're playing this game, you're gonna learn so much about it that it might as well be a PhD you can take into an interview with you somewhere. Because goddamn, there's so much, a little too much, and it's not a bad thing. Like rarely do I make a double purchase, and I did do a double purchase for this game. I bought it on the P5 to play with my boys, and then I played it here on the PC to get footage. If I had to describe this game in one word, it's just complete. It's wholeheartedly a complete package. I can want more stuff, but I don't think I need it. I still need to find the rest of the stuff I don't have in this game. There are a few things that I'm gonna mark down as negatives, but this is me nitpicking, right? I have to nitpick to find something annoying about this game. First and foremost, I have to say this. My boy will lose his mind if I don't mention this because he's pissed it happens to him all the time on the P5. I'm not sure if it's on every party, but it says it happens to him, so I'm just gonna let you know. When you pause the menu to go change your weapon or your archetype or your rings, you end up using a potion on your inventory menu. I don't know why that's the thing. I don't know why that's there. He will like the developers, Gunfire Games, to do something about that. Apparently it's super annoying, and he's used up way too many things on accident. Like, I see him dodging for no reason on a P5. Not gonna lie, it has happened to me too, so I think it's a known issue at this point. I feel like they should have been here, but transmods or varying colors for armor. Like, come on guys. I know it was in Remnant 1, and I know it's gonna come in DLC, but I want it here. I expected it here now. Like, what do we do with Corrupted Luminite after we upgrade all our mutators? Nothing. So can we just give it to the closed dude, the mute himself? Because some of these mutators don't get used at all. Some of them are just trash. Some melee ones are silly to even have considered, and if you're just out for damage, you ain't gonna use half of the ones for utility. May except the time one, 'cause that's amazing. So I know I'm acting for a lot, and I know it's coming later down the line in DLC, but I expected this to be here already. So the guy deducts some points, but this is me nitpicking again. Another issue is the skill points, the trait points. Yo, I just need 10 more, maybe 20 more. Like, personally, I think giving us 65, as I recorded this video, it was 60 originally when the game came out. 65 is a little too low. Like, it makes us hyper-focus on what we want and build in the game. True. It also makes it easier for you guys to balance the game gunfire games. True. I think I need a little more skill points just to like really make something abominable, you know, to make some abomination build, like mountain shredding build. But that being said, that's just me nitpicking. Oh, lastly, this bugged me when I figured it out. Why can't we drink all these cup caution? Like, why can't I just like start downing all these soups and just having max HP, regeneration, armor? Like, I missed that, right? I missed that. When I was doing my apocalypse run and Remnant from the ashes, I drank everything. I had enough for all my stuff to be constantly up for the next 20 hours. Like, why? Come on, guys. Like, man, you just could have made it so it was like double effective on the alchemist. No, you just had to limit everybody to one. This is me bitching about it for a second. All right, I'm gonna stop, but I'm just like annoyed at the thing. So Remnant 2, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. This is a 10 out of 10 game. Not because I love it, but because I know the level of quality we got here. I know the level of care that was given into the consumer, the player base. I know the level of dedication that went into making this game, and how that translates into making a wonderful product for the consumer. It's a roguelike, Souls-like, third-person shooter, and it works. Remnant 2 is a 10 out of 10 game, a complete package, something you can spend hours upon hours enjoying. The level of customization you have with your character, the experimentation you can do with the classism, ensure you will always have something to do, and it's something for everybody. A few general tips before we close the video. This is going to be mainly as helpful when you're starting the game, and a few things for the late game. Don't agonize about choosing your archetype at the beginning of the game, because you will simply get them all. Don't worry about it. Don't sell anything. This is not Elden Ring. There is no consumable items to just give you a large amount of scraps. Don't worry about mutators at the early game. Buy a couple that you like, but you're going to be finding most of the good ones as you just play the game. On the topic of mutators, upgrade them when you want to. If you're not trying to beat or conquer Apocalypse difficulty or even Nightmare, you don't really need to worry about mutators like that. While we're here, don't worry about relics and relic dust. Here, listen to me. Get 1,000. Get 1,000 relic dust. You will. Trust me, it will happen. Get 1,000 relic dust. It's gonna take a bit because you keep getting 3, 4, and 5s at a time. Once you got 1,000, change your game to Apocalypse difficulty. After that, spend all the relic dust on getting whatever you want. This is how you get Mythic. It's the fastest way, or at least the only way I know that works for me. That or you can play Apocalypse difficulty when you're not ready. Do this to unlock Mythic relics. This is important. Do it. Focus on acquiring more options than more power. This is just a general tip, but the game is always going to scale to be one level ahead of you. You can just tell by this number right here on the top right, under the map. That being said, it's best to have more options than more power. What I mean by that is the game scales with you, so focus on acquiring more weapons and rings and amulets than just increasing your weapons levels. Eventually you're going to want to upgrade everything, but for the first, 5 hours of the game, just focus on trying to get as much of equipment, rings, and amulet as possible. Stop using Firestorm in co-op. Don't use Starshot in co-op. Alright? Stop killing your teammates. Don't be afraid to look up for tips and tricks on this game. You're gonna need a guide to find all the archetypes. You will need a guide to find all the archetypes. Trust me, especially for the engineer, the archon, and invader, you will need tips and the video to find it. I'm not gonna put it here because someone already did it better than me. So just go look that up. And lastly, take your time with this game. There is no rush in this game. Trust me. You will need millions of scrap. Listen, it looks like a lot. It's nothing. If I upgrade a couple weapons to 19 or 9, I am broke fast. So take your time with this game. It's meant for you to play for a couple hours, get lost in the flow of it, and then come back and realize you have 17k. Once you beat your first world, whatever world it is, which it be Naru, Yesha, or Losum, whichever world you beat, once you beat it, go to adventure mode and do it again. You will notice a difference in how you move when you first start the game into the first world to when you do it a second time right after you beat it. Trust me, you need to see how well you improve after that first world, and it matters a lot. Alright, this has been Definitely Not a Box. I'll catch you on the next one, and have a good one.